This week, you will have an opportunity to look at the elements of composition, and the elements of composition will help you as you're describing, formally analyzing, and interpreting. The elements of composition are the part within of the format for looking at a work of art that includes formal analysis. So the first thing you're going to do is to describe the artwork completely, describe everything that you see in the work, and then you'll explore the line, color, texture, space, and shape. And then you'll arrive at an interpretation. The color wheel is an important aspect of the elements of composition. Color is it's what we see first when we come into a room or look out a window. The colors have a descriptive quality, and they have an emotional property, and they have certain characteristics that make them very important. And so in this color wheel, we can see how the artist or the designer creates color and makes color have an impact in a work of art. The primary colors, as you probably know, are red, yellow, and blue. And out of those colors, you can create the secondary and the tertiary colors. Red and green are complements. They're complements, they're opposites on the color wheel. So they couldn't be more different, okay? And we know in life sometimes when opposites attract, but also opposites can repel. So when you look at when you're analyzing an art or creating art, you want to keep those things in mind, that the properties of color. Okay, so violet and yellow are opposites, and blue and green blue and orange are opposites. Okay, and then there are analogous colors, and they're in the same family. So you have red and orange and yellow, and you have violet and blue and green. You also have a property of that warm colors, red, orange, and yellow, tend to advance toward the viewer. You tend to see a red shirt or a red car or something that attracts your attention when it's a warm color. That's the thing that you may notice first. The cool colors, such as violet, blue, and green, recede into the background. And so those warm colors are those things that are warm in nature. You think of the red of fire, or the sun, yellow being a warm color. And the cool colors tend to recede into the background, and they tend to be those things that are cool in nature, such as the blue sky, green grass, the hint of violet in ice. And this will make much more sense as we go along, as you study it more, so don't get lost. Here is a good example of what happens when you juxtaposition warm and a cool color. Our eyes are drawn immediately to the red scarf, and it's covering the face of this rescuer. The painter of Lifeline, the title of the painting, was a Civil War artist. He created drawings for Harper's Weekly, and then at 40 years old, he retired, and he traveled the world, and he painted, and he fished, and he hunted, and this was his life. But he was a very important and very interesting artist, American artist. His work, you can see this in person at the Philadelphia Museum of Art in Philadelphia. So if you look at this painting, you can see that our attention goes immediately to the scarf and to this. We anticipate, is this person going to be rescued? Is this creating, it creates a kind of a drama. The waves, they're dipping into the water. There's these strong diagonal lines. Diagonal lines create a sense of imbalance and interest and energy and something that's unsure. We're not, it's not a continuum kind of line. Diagonals are slippery slopes. Okay, so we don't know what's going to happen. And then we notice that we have this wide, expansive space. We don't know if this is a ship to ship or a ship to shore rescue. And we don't know the end of the story, and that's one of the things that, or as we look at the painting, we don't know the end of the story. We can only anticipate what happens. But that's one of the things that you want to remember about looking at art. Art tells a story, and it's your own personal story also. You bring your own experiences and thoughts and ideas into the interpretation. So you start with a description, you go through the elements of composition, line, texture, space, color, and shape, and then you arrive at an interpretation. And your interpretation is no less than someone else's, than the expert's interpretation. What matters is what you are getting out of the painting. So this is one of the functions of art, is drama sometimes, and storytelling. So this is an interesting painting, but it gives a good example of what happens when you juxtaposition, when you use a color, a warm color such as red, to draw our attention, our eyes to the central figure and the story that's going on.